Yeah, I'm Apache. I run Metal Gear Solid. This is my third time at UKSG now. I actually picked up this game for UKSG during the last submission period. I'll give you a shout when to start the timer. It's like just after this initial speech. So yeah, this is Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. It's just after he finishes the speech. Can you turn the game up slightly, please? Alright, start timer now. So yeah, like a pre-John, I'm not actually feeling too well at the moment. You might be able to hear my throat's kind of sore. It's a UKSG curse. The first one I had technical issues. Second one, I had some problems with the train getting here, and now today I'm ill. So I guess I'll just never, I'll never get one without problems. I'm running on a very easy difficulty. As I say, I picked up this game for the actual marathon. So that was like the initial place to start. I've always ran these games on very easy, but since then I've also taken the easy and normal world records. So in the future, hopefully come back and do it on one of the harder difficulties for the trolls in the chat. I've just got to pick up the backpack here because when Snake landed in, his backpack got caught in the tree. So after I've done that, I'll put the face camo on, which is for the donation incentive, which unfortunately USA won. So I think the UK let us down here. You might notice this game looks amazing from when you played it yourself, when it came out, and that's because I'm running on the Xbox One, which is actually a port of the Xbox 360 version, but it does look stunning. It's the best looking version of the game by miles, and there's sections on the even on the PlayStation 3 HD collection which lag, which don't on the Xbox One. This game starts out with what's called the Virtuous mission, which I'm doing now, and we essentially have to rescue a scientist. For some reason, Snake decided for this small mission that he would need to bring 9 silencers with him. You see that above my gun on the bottom right? 9 silencers. I don't know how many people he thought he was shooting, but it just seems unnecessary to me. In this game, when you go up inclines like hills, Snake will slow down slightly, so we tend to roll up them. But later on, once we pick up the cardboard box, for some reason they didn't program that staggered walk for inclines with the box, so we'll use that quite a lot during the run. The best thing about very easy is we can quick track guards from miles away. So then pick them off nice and easy. Alerts, unlike Metal Gear Solid 2, very easy. Alerts will carry through screens. Okay, I'm going to do what's called a bump roll. Snake's hitbox is massive, so he can hit guards with his roll from miles away. This next bridge is programmed with some amazing physics, and I think it's because Hideo Kojima assumed that reviewers would only play a small portion of the game before reviewing it, so he put this bridge which responds to your weight in. You don't see anything like that in the rest of the game, and he manages to fit it in twice because after we do the Virtuous mission, we come through this area again, which I'll show you. I think that was all planned to make the game more impressive. I think he did that same thing with the crocodiles as well. So we're coming to Sokolov in the first area. This is the scientist we've come to rescue. I'm sure it'll go well. Unlike the Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, which are quite heavy on the mashing, mashing A for cutscenes and codecs and things like that, Metal Gear Solid 3 has a good balance. It doesn't have too many cutscenes between the stages, and you can just hold triangle to skip the codecs, which is really useful. Because when you speedrun Metal Gear Solid for a while, like I have, your hands start to hurt. Unfortunately, the Virtuous mission goes wrong, and we're betrayed by the boss, who is Snake's master, and she throws us off a bridge, so we're going to have to heal ourselves now. And we get to see something which is new to Metal Gear Solid 3, the survival menu. On the Xbox One, it's like really poorly programmed menu. Sometimes you'll like press to go left and right, or you'll press A on the heal menu, and it just won't work, and it'll get stuck. So when you hear that sound, it's just because the menu's a bit dodgy on the Xbox version. Apart from that, it's perfect, especially the controller. So I'll have to change the face camo again because it's like the start of a new mission now, but that'll be good all the way up to Torture. And now we come into the same area again, but in the cover of darkness. There's some unskippable cutscenes later in the game that'll feature that face camo. We try and roll up terrain or over terrain wherever necessary. Some of the things that'll slow us down. Snake's movement it's a lot more difficult than say Raiden's or in MGS1, just because of like the jungle terrain. Like here is all uphill. You can sometimes hit cutscene triggers by going into a crouch on them as well. So on the other difficulties, well, you get your gun taken off you by the boss here at the start, so you have no weapons. But on very easy, we have this still, so we're absolutely fine. On higher difficulties, I tend to use the Patriot. So we can see like how good the very easy guard AI is here. Oh crap! There we go. So with the easy gun, we've got an 80% camo index, so we can get right up to guards, and we can abuse that later to get better lines and stuff as well. So we're going to pick up the box and then go into like the first sort of mini boss fight of the game, which is the Ocelot unit. And depending on how you tackle it, you can save or lose a lot of time. We're going to pick up our box here, which is the most important item in the game by far. I think we're in agreement with the other Metal Gear Solid 3 runners that the box actually saves you more time in this run than even if you used like stealth camo. You would still be quicker using the box. So this is the first boss, the Ocelot unit. You've just got to kill or stun them all to finish it. Kill that one, and then I'm going to prime a stun, and then wait to get spotted. There's one on the roof here as well. Yeah, good. Now you don't want to get too close to this guy because he'll knife you otherwise. As you roll over, if you roll into him, he'll knife you. And that's the first boss. First mini boss, we'll call it. I'm going to take the silencer off my gun here, because I need the gun to be loud in about 30 minutes. So we don't use the M9 much during this run, so we can just take the silencer off there, and it's useful later to be loud. Now I've got to swim through some crocodile-infested water, and during this time a leech will attach to you. And normally you'd remove it because it drains your stamina, but it's actually super useful in the very easy run to keep it on you. And I'll explain why later, but you get a leech attached here, normally you would remove it. I'm going to pick up these grenades over here as well because they're super useful for a boss. I've got to do a menu here. There's a lot of menu in MGS3 compared to the other games. Normally we wouldn't go into a pause menu like this, but it's super useful. Obviously, any weapons you pick up in this game as well, you have to equip them within this menu. So like things like the grenade, you have to put them on there. Codec triggers, if you roll into them, obviously you get a little bit further because they'll stop your momentum. The jungle's obviously really dangerous, you have to watch out for traps like that on the floor. First electric fence here. If you touch the electric fence, obviously you get electrocuted. For some reason, if you roll into it, it doesn't count as you touching it. So that's useful to get as close as possible. Some claymores on the floor here, which hopefully I'll avoid. Yep. Oh, and yeah, if you touch the electric fence, you get electrocuted, but not if you like jump on top of it. That's fine. Obviously, the box really useful for getting over terrain. I'm going to go into this trap on purpose because I want the caution for the next room. It just puts the guards in a better position. That guard would normally be right in the path I'm going to walk. The spirit camouflage that I equipped earlier as well silences your footsteps. You can only use that on New Game Plus. But currently the Metal Gear Solid 3 leaderboards are not split for New Game and New Game Plus. So I just run New Game Plus because it's faster. However, if they were split, I would run both. This is Ocelot, Revolver Ocelot from Metal Gear Solid 1, but when he was young. I shot him with the Patriot because I thought I was doing normal, but I'm not. So, we're going to recover now. I should be using the stun gun, really. This is super slow. I should not have shot him with the stun gun, the Patriot even. That was a slight mistake. So when I went into the menu before, I equipped both the MK22, which is the normal stun gun, and obviously I have the easy gun already. For some reason, the easy gun is faster for killing Ocelot, but the MK22 is faster for killing the Pain. So they must have programmed the like damage variables differently for the two bosses. So equipping easy gun stops your stamina from going down, so that's why I can have the leech attached to me. But still, continue during the run, because if I had all my stamina drained, it affects your aim and things like that. But that leech is going to come in handy later. So I'm not sure how well you can see on the screen now. I'm in the cave, super dark, but it's not too bad on my screen. I'll be out of it in a minute. In a casual playthrough, the longer you spend in the cave, the better your eyesight gets. But we don't have time for that to do that. There's also a torch, but it's really out the way as well. It doesn't look like that for me. I'm not doing it blind. So this next boss is called the Pain. He's the most accurately named boss in the game. He's a real nightmare. He's super easy to lose time on. His hitbox is like really small, and then he'll get like a shield that you have to take off as well. Nightmare. His hitbox is like, it's a concept, it's not real. There's like 1 pixel on his head you can hit. That wasn't too bad. I lost a little bit of time there. I like how the camo in the top says USA Spirit. Seems apt.
Do I have a second to jump in to talk
Oh
about
yeah,
our
of
charity?
course.
Excellent. So, we are raising money to support Young Minds, a charity leading the good fight for the future of all young minds to be supported and empowered to face whatever challenges they may come across during their lives. Your donations will help these young people to make sure that they get the best possible mental health support as they grow up and come across life's difficulties, and give them the courage and the resilience to overcome all the challenges that they face. 90% of your donations will be going direct to young minds themselves, while 10% of the donations will be going to support UKSG so that we can continue to put on these marathons for you and so that we can continue to support young minds in a very, very long future and hopefully for a very long time to come.
Yeah, so in this section, there's like it's just like a long swim. There's a couple of guards in the way, but the easy gun's going to prevent me from getting seen. On the higher difficulties, I tend to use there's a brown face paint which gives you unlimited oxygen. But here, like, health is just a concept. Health is just an idea, so we can just tank that like it's oxygen. As long as we have a small amount left, that'll begin to recover as well. So, not advised, but yeah. Get a little glimpse of the end here, and I always get asked, you know, how do you kill the end during the speedrun? Do you shoot him here because you can actually kill him early? But it's actually slower to kill him early because you have to go out the way to get the sniper rifle, and then there's other things involved as well. It's actually a lot slower to kill him there. You can damage in there, but there's really no need to, because I'd have to menu to a gun that can shoot the barrel, and then I would have to menu back into the easy gun. So we're just gonna kill him when we get to him a bit later. There's also, you can turn your console off and set the time forward by 2 weeks, but obviously we can't do that during the speedrun either. But that would be faster. You can use this guard here to take the box off. Normally taking the box off, you lose like 0.5 seconds for. So where possible, you wanna get rid of that time by hitting a guard, things like that. Just heading into the lab now. Again, more electric fences we need to avoid. Got my box caught on the wall as well. Really got to watch out for that. This guard shouldn't see me. It should be fine. Yep. Amazing AI. Got to be really careful in the lab because there's certain points in this game where if you get an alert, it won't allow you to progress the story, and this is one of them. So before you meet Granin, you can't have an alert when you get to their door. Which isn't too much of a worry. There's just one guard before you go in the door, sorry, not a guard, a scientist, who can ruin your day. The hardest enemy in here are the doors. The doors are really awkward to open. The box is faster for walking up and downstairs, so that's why we use it there. That's fine, we can meet Granin and he'll allow us to unlock a door in that warehouse we went through to progress the story. Before we leave this, the lab, we need to pick up something called the cigar gas spray, which we need to fight a boss later. It's just in this room here. I'm going to throw that guard into the door to keep it open. Otherwise you have to wait for it to close and then open it again. Still is a bit of a nightmare. You have to come at a weird angle to open it. That's the real bosses, the door mechanics. So with New Game Plus, a lot of people theorize that you would just use you get a weapon called the Patriot, which is an unlimited ammo machine gun. Everyone assumed like you would just use that to shoot all the guards and all the bosses, and it's not true. It's not actually used that much in the run, except for the next boss, who you can actually just mow down with the Patriot. But there's a little more setup involved to it than that. So next boss is the Fear. You might have seen him killed with the rope trap before, but in New Game Plus we use the Patriot 'cause it's a little bit. It's harder to mess up essentially. So at the start of this fight I need to do a menu because he's shot you with a poison arrow, which will slowly drain your health. It'll stay in after the fight, and I've also got to equip the cigar gas spray for later. So I'll take the poison out and then kill myself. So what we used there was the fake death pill, which puts you into a death-like state, so bosses think that you're dead. And when he moves, we'll revive. And I'm going to throw a stun grenade at the floor. That's Fear. Nice and easy boss. You can do that on every difficulty. When he's stunned by the stun grenade, and he takes damage, it will drain his stamina because of his camo. So that's why that works. You can also use the AK-47, but in New Game, but you have to go a little bit out of the way to pick it up. This is where the spirit camo come in really handy, because when I fall behind these guards, they won't hear me. And I can do a little bit of parkour if it works. So this next part is the end. It's not the end of the game, it's a boss called the end. There's also a boss called the boss, but that's not this boss, that boss is at the end. Stay with me, stay with me. So you probably should, we can equip the easy gun here and we can see like the power of the spirit camo, because the guard can't hear your footsteps, which is really useful because we're going to sneak up on the end as well. So spirit camo is crazy useful for that. You can also hold a grenade to silence your footsteps, but we don't want to menu it. If this guard spots me here, we just end his life. He sees you if you're too fast, so that's good. Means we were getting through that area nice and quickly. So at the end, he always spawns in the same place at the start of the fight. After that, he can move all over the place. But we know where he is when we start the fight, which is really handy for the speedrun. So I know my friends who run this game will be cringing that I use the box too much, because I just like to be careful. I always like to have it for an incline. But the guys who also run this game, like Major Zero and Raichu, they're a lot more conservative with the box than me. So we're going to sneak up behind the end now. We're going to go around this this mountain part here and go behind him. And, you know, if you've never seen this run before, however you thought I was going to kill the end, you're wrong. So we've got to wait a second for his invincibility to come off. And throw a stun grenade at him. Don't want to look at that. And that's the end. So because of the way his invincibility frames work, we can kind of just work around that by holding him up and hitting him with the stun grenade. Killing him with non-lethal gives us the Mosin Nagant as well, which is really useful for bosses later in the run. Also, the cigar gas spray, for some reason, on the HD collection, does 2 damage instead of 1 when you're in the first-person view. So that's also why we can kill the end so fast. I think it's a bug, but I don't know. This next boss is actually... It's not the hardest boss in any Metal Gear Solid game, but it is the tallest. If you stacked every single other boss in this game on top of each other, it still wouldn't be as tall as this next boss. I'm just going to hold up for like 3 minutes now. I like this little break before what I consider the hardest bit of the run, the mountain.
I feel the need to say, are we there yet?
The ladder actually ends just as a song. I just thought I'd...
See, you just let go. You fell off the ladder. You gotta climb up again now.
Yeah, if I jump at the top, I have to climb up it again.
Do we do that just to keep them climbing up the ladder?
What is this, a car ride? No.
You did it. Everyone did it. Yes. I wasn't expecting that at all. I did know something would happen with the ladder, but... So as I said before, the spirit camo silences your footsteps, which lets us get a really nice line here. Right behind that garden, basically just all the way to the end. I hate the mountain so much, and I messed it up a little bit in practice as well. So I'm just hoping for the best here. I'm going to be really safe. Getting an alert is a bit of a nightmare on the mountain because it's just hard to get rid of, and you can't progress the story if you've got an alert. You can get one and then like take it straight off you, but spirit camo coming in useful again now. This guard, this next guard, if you lock onto him with your gun, for some reason it always shoots his radio. So if you see that. Oh no. I just knew it. I think that'll come off, but I just knew it. Like I say, I hate the mountain. That one always seems to go down fine, but that first guard with the radio, and then my roll completely missing. Just go behind this guard flanks and spirit camo. Someone's got to remind me as well after torture to put the USA camo back on, because I will forget. Can use the snake eater camera here, subsistence camera, and, or not. Normally makes that roll a little bit easier. For some reason the box opens doors, which is handy. I think it's just because they didn't program a way for it to interact with the door, so it just pushes it open. We're going to pick up some noodles in a second, because we need them later to feed to Eva. What other game can you feed your girlfriend instant noodles? Missing out. That guard there at the top had a flamethrower, which is like a sign of things to come. Oh, not that. I need this Mosin the gun here for the next boss, so I'm going to equip it now. You can roll downstairs. I don't think you're supposed to be able to. The game just sort of lets you. Well, sometimes. This next boss is the Fury. He's an angry guy. Hopefully he doesn't light me on fire too much. I'm just gonna wait to see what he does. Didn't stand too far enough away. The cardboard box gets rid of fire. You know, make of that what you will. That was lucky. Very, very lucky. So that was just because I stood a centimetre too close to the fire after I knocked him down the first time. Kind of unfortunate. So now we've got to go. We've got to go impersonate Rykov. Definitely no relation to the character from Metal Gear Solid 2. Well, you can see him in a sec. I'll let you be the judge of that. But the silenced footsteps from Spirit Camo is going to let us get an amazing line here. This next room is as very easy as it gets. I'm like a ninja. Right, messing up this room will cause a reset, so hopefully I get it right first time. I'm going to shoot this guard up here. And then sit in my box for a second. Shoot this guard. I might have been a little bit slow there. No, we're fine. So I had to take Rykov before those two guards come into the room. Because we want to steal this guy's costume. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking, that part, because it's kind of easy to mess up. So I got to take the USA face cam off here. Sorry about that, America. And yeah, we're definitely looking like Rykov now. You might notice as well, during the fight with the Fear, he shot an arrow at us. And, you know, we wouldn't take that out because it loses time. But even when you change your costume, he somehow manages to keep the arrow in his thigh. Like, how would you change your clothes and leave that there? So after we get caught here, the game's going to give us a little break for a few minutes.
Does that mean we have a time for a quick donation?
Yeah, plenty of time, yeah.
Excellent. So we have $5 from Mockingjay. How can a cardboard box not burn in the fire? Have a good one, Apache. X.
Ah, that's my girlfriend. She's
Oh, how sweet.
there. No, not Viper. Sat next to Viper.
I know you gave the data to someone. You!
So this is where Big Boss loses an eye. Actually gets shot out. And for the rest of the game, when you're in first person, you'll see like a dark marking on the right hand side where his eye used to be. It's a bit gritty. We're kind of just stuck here while we get tortured by Volgin. It's an unskippable cutscene.
Is it the Shagohai? Or maybe it's the legacy. Answer me. Who is helping you? Who let you in? You're a tough one. Even you must have your limits.
If we have a little bit of time, I could talk about a couple of donations and incentives coming up.
Yeah, go for it. Like,
Excellent. Well, this evening we do have a couple of donation incentives going around. We have one for Haunted Ground, being run by Speckled Joker, to choose the costume. And I've got a list of the names of the costumes in front of me. So we have the normal costume, obviously, and then we have Fiona the Frog. It sounds very interesting to me. Texas Cowgirl, and then Under the Scalpel. And those are the 4 options that you have for that. Currently, none of them have been donated for, so that's free game for that. We also have a Fallout 2 donation incentive, which is happening later on this evening as well, for Jack of Hearts, and that's to name the main character. And that has one donation in for $10 at the minute. To name the character, donate, essentially. And that's the only name that's been submitted for that so far. So if you can submit that with your own choice of name, that would be great as well. And later on as well, we have Paul Says Kuso Run to turn that into 100%, and that's $25 out of 100 so far. So we've got a long time to go until Kuso is there, but that's a fair bit of time, fair bit of incentive to make up with that there.
yeah, so after torture, to escape the cell, there's a specific codec you can play, which is 144.75, and during the cutscene you can actually see in the background the Sorrow holding that up for you. There's a few other ways to escape. You can use the fake death pill, which you have to pull out your body with a fork, which is nice, but it's slower, so we don't do that. During the escape there, you need to keep your alert, equip the cigar, because we want to take as much damage as possible. And earlier in the game, when I was in that crocodile-infested water, and I got the leech attached to me, I left it there because that's going to drain my stamina. Because once we get to the Sorrow fight, I'm going to need to kill myself as quickly as possible to get out of it. So that's why the leech is useful. Also why we jumped off there to take damage. Like taking damage here is essentially useful. We've got some dogs chasing us here, so we have to be quite fast through the sewers. So as you get closer to the end, you can hear the dogs sort of coming up behind you. And this is a scene kind of ripped out of a film. So Kojima, the guy who made this game, is obsessed with movies, so you get a lot of movie references. Obviously there's the James Bond connotations all the way through the film as well. So I'm just going to dive in the water here and drown myself. Normally you would, in a casual playthrough, you'd keep walking to the end, and eventually it lets you out. But if you kill yourself by drowning, you can use the revival pill to let you out. That's the only way to win this fight. There's no way to kill the Sorrow because he is already dead. So when we were in the cell earlier, there's actually a tracker that's attached to you that you can take out with the fork, but because we didn't take that out, there's like a unit of guards here, which is fine, but one of them's got a shotgun, and we just want to hopefully not get knocked down by the shotgun. It is random. It happens less often on very easy than it does on other difficulties. The higher you go up difficulties, the more likely you are to get hit by the shotgun, and I think on hard 2 of them have shotguns instead of just 1. We're in no danger of dying, we're just in danger of losing time. Puts him up there with the shotgun. No, he missed. And now I've met Eva again, I can put the face camera back on. This is like the longest bit of loading screen in the game for some reason. These cutscenes just take forever. So now I've got an eye patch as well, which you'll see more. There's a lot of first-person view bits towards the end of the game. So we really need this box at the end here. That's going to let us get into the C3 area a lot quicker. Get this face camera back on. Crazy amount of menu in here as well. We're going to need all this for the rest of the run. Not the key. Oh yeah, we need to remove the leech. So this is the leech that we had with us the whole game. Got to say goodbye to him now though, because we don't want him to drain our stamina anymore.
Do you have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, for sure.
We have $10 from Sully with the comment, and as an Englishman, I can't believe I'm about to do this. USA! 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 Loved playing this game as a kid. Thank you for that $10 donation, Sully.
Thank you. I like that bit where he's peeking through the box with the face cam on. So that's just like the box we picked up before, is the fastest way into this area. We've got to plant some C3, the predecessor to C4. If we get caught here again, it's a bit of a nightmare. which I thought I was going to get caught there, but no, we're fine. The guard here we need to get rid of. I couldn't hit the audio cue, so hopefully he's good. He's down. We're good. We're good. Now we're going to start the first of many fights with Volgan. Similar to Liquid in MGS1 and Solid is in MGS2, he just refuses to die after fighting multiple times. And the strategy for this is the same all the way up to normal. Throw him to the ground, shoot a sniper rifle at him. That's phase 1. Phase 2, we're going to shoot him in the face with more of a sniper rifle. But unfortunately that's not the end of him. I'm going to have to battle with him quite a lot more. Got an auto scroller here, we need the RPG for this. So either we'll carefully drive us through some areas with this thing chasing us, and I'm going to try and put as much damage as I can onto it, and get rid of the guards as quickly as possible as well. So there's a trick we use here called quick reloading. If you equip and unequip the gun, it will load it for you. And that's used just all the way through this. It's a skill you really have to learn to run this game. Takes practice and hurts your finger. Surprised that didn't kill him. So during this auto scroll we just want to try and put as much damage on the Shaggerhead as possible. It won't let us damage him past a certain point, unfortunately. It would be handy if we could take his health down, but it will let us get a considerable amount of him. Some pretty good action shots here as well. I'll just keep turning Snake's face camera towards the camera. If you didn't kill the guards quick enough in this next section, it makes you go around the block again, so there is actually ways to speed up the next section. So who says that? Keep it up then. We're on good pace. She's not a great driver either. She's hit and miss. On high difficulties, that guy's got an RPG, so he's necessary to deal with. I think on European Extreme, you 1 it kills you. During this next section, we just want to try and kill as many guards as possible. Every time you kill them, they respawn, so I think like 230 is my highest within a run. Not just in this section, in the whole game. And now we get the last phase where we can actually damage the Shadowhard before the real fight with him. So I should be able to take him down to like his limit for health. If you didn't already think he was a bad guy, here he is like running over his own men. They've got down to the limit now. So now we just hit him occasionally so he doesn't shoot us. If not, he'll fire rockets over us and so on. So that hasn't got rid of him, so now we're going to try blowing him up on a bridge. So we fought him twice in the room. We fired about 100 rockets at him or something. Now we're going to try blowing up a bridge as he drives across it. Surely that'll work, right? If you know any Call of Duty teams that need a sniper. No scope. This whole section, doing this section quickly really relies on either driving well or him just turning around like that. That helps too. Nope. That was quite fortunate. I thought she was going to go. Sometimes she drives in the opposite direction. The Shadowhard turns in the opposite direction. All kinds of things can go wrong during this. That was nice and fast. Thanks, mate. Again, yeah, we're just cleaning up guards now. This whole escape section again is an auto-scroll. There's nothing you can do to speed it up. On the PlayStation 3, I've theorized that you can speed it up by looking down the whole time because it lags, but on the Xbox One it doesn't, so we're fine. Just gotta not get shot, I guess. I used to kill Vulcan with the Mosin Nagant, which is like a single fire sniper rifle. So during this whole section, I would still have that if I didn't want a menu. But the SVD is much better, much faster for killing guards with. And if I miss every guard in the next section, everyone can make fun of me in the chat. I won't get that Call of Duty team sponsor. true American hero. That would not be a good Karatan runner. Those little frogs are damn hard to hit. Oh yeah, the old 1960s hovercrafts. Right, I'm not sure what these platform things are these guards are on, what they run on, but knowing Kojima, they're probably real. It's kind of random that they just drive into the wall there. The last chase section here with the bikes. The best thing to do is just shoot the passenger on the bike, because they can only have, the game is only allows no, shut the driver there. It only allows 4 bikes on screen at any one time. So if you shoot the passenger, they can't really damage you anymore, but no more will spawn. So just try and kill the passengers here. And then we can just watch it in cinematic style. I think that's actually the strategy for European Extreme, is to shoot the passenger for the bikes. And everyone comes here on the right and left somewhere. Oh, got them both. And that's the end of those little scripted sections. We've just got a tiny little escort before the final boss. The final boss, the boss, aptly named. Unfortunately, the bike crashes and Eva gets quite injured. She gets impaled, so you have to cure her here. For some reason, you can just go to the next area here, it's fine, you don't have to make her follow you or anything. I got to move quickly here because there's some guards that are going to spawn from behind us. Eva's really slow, and if you walk too far away from her, she will just stop.
Do you have time for a quick donation?
Yeah, for sure.
We have a $5 donation from Mockingjay. That is not an appropriate outfit for this type of mission.
I don't see what's wrong with it personally. Seems fine. Just gotta drag her along to the cutscene triggers and kind of hope for the best. She does what she wants. She takes the worst routes possible. She's slow. She's a nightmare. We're gonna feed her some instant noodles here. Hopefully that'll convince her to go a bit faster. Got to kind of hope for the best. Just keep telling her to follow you, and hope she agrees to do that. To be fair to her, she was just injured in like a horrific bike crash, so she is kind of doing her best. Oh no, that's not good. I honestly thought she'd be stunned then. Just got to keep your eye on her, make sure she's still following you. Oh no, I don't know if that's an inappropriate outfit or not. Right, it's the last boss, the boss. And then we've got a little shootout with Ocelot as well. You have to respond to what she does, so when the exclamation point appears above your head, you can counter her. And then we're going to loop her by not doing that. Got to hit her in the head with the Mosin Nagant and then with the stun grenade like this. Missed her again. So just take a little shoot out of Ocelot, and then that's the end of the game. So that's definitely the hardest boss fight there. You have to shoot her in the head with like a. If you sort of aim down the sights, you're a little bit too slow to get her. And then quickly throw the stun grenade out to loop her. This is unskippable here. This is a sad part for MGS3 fans. A Patriot, thanks. I've already got one. So you can go faster in New Game Plus.
Or should I say, Snake? You're a wonderful man. Kill me. Kill me now.
That's what the story is. Kill me now. Oh, look at that.
There's no room for one boss.
Do you want to shoot her?
What?
Do you want to shoot her?
Do I want to shoot her? No, I'm good.
Sad. We've just got a little shootout with Ocelot here.
Do we have time for one quick donation?
Yeah, I mean, this is the end of the game, so yeah, sure, go for it.
Sweet. We have $5
That's time,
from
by the way.
Viper. Remember, Snake? It's big fish, little fish, then cardboard box.
So yeah, that's Metal Gear Solid 3. Thanks for watching. If you like speedrunning Metal Gear Solid games, metalgearspeedrunners.com, and we run them all. Thanks for watching. Shout out all the other MGS3 runners.